what's up, everybody? It's me, it's AlexisMaurice, and my co-host, Mr.
TreiHollywood.
And welcome to an all-new episode of The Wind-Up. Yes, we've missed you guys. We've been away for about 2 weeks. It's all Trey's fault because he has moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, I'm back on the East Coast.
Congratulations, Trey, on your move. How does it feel to be back home?
Feels good. Like even last night, I called my dad. And I was like, "What you doing?" He was like, "Watching the football game." And I was like, "I'm coming over." He was like, "Come on." It just felt good to just be able to like just go hang out with
I'm
family
coming
again.
over. I'm home. I'm coming over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy for you, Trey. Now, tell the viewers what brought you back to Charlotte, North Carolina?
Houston was great. Houston treated me well. My brother-in-law would say he felt like Houston grew me up a lot, and I can agree to that. I can agree
too. I can definitely agree with that.
It did, and I can agree. It did grow me up a lot. I felt like it was kind of a milestone. I was able to learn a lot by myself. I was out there by myself, so that was one of the reasons that pushed me to come back. I was a loner out there. I had a couple friends, but I had no family, and so I was really missing out. You know me, I'm a family person. I love being around my family and my closest friends that I've known for years, which would be like example you. I just missed the fact of being able to say, "Hey, Mo, I'm about to drive 3 hours and come to Atlanta to hang out." I can't do that in Houston, so I felt like it was a point where I was like, you know what, it's time to go back home. It wasn't because thankfully nobody's sick. Most of the time people move back home because family members are sick and things like that. Of course, my family's getting older, and it wasn't because of like I just wasn't able to stay there and branch out on my own. But I just really started missing my family. But luckily, I was able to transfer with the company I work with and found I got a great job offer.
That's always good because bitches love to move to places when they ain't got no job, child. I'm
right.
all for chasing your dreams and all that stuff. But if the Lord ain't telling you to move, honey, and if the Lord ain't telling you to quit your job, do not quit your job.
Do not.
Are so many people, I gotta go. And then I'd be like, well, did God tell you to move, honey? Did he tell you to move? Did he tell you to quit that job that you had a decent living with? And like I said, I'm all for chasing dreams and stuff like that. But the responsible thing sometimes is to move when you have things set up.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. Hallelujah.
There's so many people, especially to Atlanta, who come to Atlanta, they ain't got no job, they ain't got no car, they ain't got no furniture, they ain't got nothing.
They stay with somebody they met on social media.
Or whatever. So thank God that you're moving back home with a car, with your own crib, with your own furniture. No, I think you sold all your furniture, didn't you?
Yeah, I did sell. No, not all my furniture. I did sell my living room because I did want to start over with my living room furniture, which I actually purchased this week. So it'll be delivered next week.
Okay, come on, new furniture. You know what? For those of you who have been watching the Wind-Up / Hollywood Happenings, because before there was the Wind-Up, there was Hollywood Happenings. You guys know that me and Trey started this journey in Charlotte, North Carolina together. Then he moved to Atlanta. Then I stayed in Charlotte. Then I moved to Atlanta. Then we did it a little bit in Atlanta. Then he moved to Houston.
I moved back to Charlotte first.
No, you moved back to Charlotte. Then I was in Atlanta or whatever. Then he left Charlotte and then went to Houston. Now he's back in Charlotte. So with that being said, I think very, very soon the Wind-Up is going to be coming to you guys with the both of us in the same space. So I'm looking for that because we haven't recorded a show together. Oh gosh,
I can tell you the last time.
When?
Last time, I believe it was the episode when we was on vacation and we were sitting next to each other in chairs. It was upstairs in the house that we have in the Airbnb
in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
I think that was the last time.
February of something. That was quote unquote our last recording. Because after then we stopped recording. Now we're back. But congratulations to you. I'm glad to see that you're happy. You seem so much happier now that you're back.
I really am.
Now we just got to find this girl a man so she can stop crying all the damn time. She wants a man so bad. Okay? So we're gonna
I don't want a man so bad. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's break it down. I don't want.
Break it down. Go ahead, y'all, and pour yourself a glass of wine because this is about to be a whole situation. Go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine. Put up a chair. Put on some lipstick. Child, get you a blunt. because I have a feeling this is about to be a whole situation. Before we begin, go ahead and like this video. Make sure that you like it. Make sure that you share it on all of your social media platforms.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Tinder, Jack, all of those platforms.
All of that stuff. Make sure that you comment below as we're going on. Let us know if you agree or disagree with what your thoughts are. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel as well, too. So, Trey, break it down. What, girl, you just want a man so bad, child. You just want a man so bad.
I don't want a man so bad, so let's not make it seem like I'm thirsty of wanting a man. However,
drink up.
However,
got him! Got him!
there was a point in my life where I wasn't ready, but I wanted one, right? So the difference from then to now, I've always been a relationship type person. I love to date. A little bit after I started doing therapy, I had a therapist to get over stuff that I need to get over. I am ready for a relationship. I'm to that point where I'm prepared financially,
emotionally.
Motion taking me over.
So, child, if you want to date Trey, please pick up the phone and dial 1-800-DATE-A-HOE, okay? And press option number 2 for TreiHollywood.
Not DATE-A-HOE.
Because we got to get this girl in a relationship before December 31st, 2023.
Am I not a good man? Am I not a good man, Maurice? Am I not a good man? Honestly.
Girl, I don't know. I ain't never been in a relationship with you, so I won't be able to speak to that. But what I do know, it's going to take a special somebody to deal with you, boo. Okay. Just like it's taking a special somebody to deal with Drew ass on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The season is almost concluded, and Trey made a tweet the other day that seems to have gone a little viral. Trey has some stuff that he wanted to get off his chest, honey. So this is what Trey had to say, because he wanted to discuss this, and I want to give him the opportunity to get some things off of his chest about how he feels when it comes to Mrs. Drew Sidor. So Trey said this. Y'all don't want to say it, so I'ma say it. Drew carried this season on her big old back, okay? From the drama with Marlo to the drama with Sheree to the marriage issues, her music, the movie, and the situation with her sister. Yep, this season, Drew was the story. We ain't even got to the fact that there's an alleged lesbian affair that is going on with her as well. So Trey, tell us how you feel, because you tweeted it and it got a lot of traction, child. So what's going on?
I just found myself watching the show and watching every dynamic of every woman and what has transpired, and I just saw that Drew is the one who has allowed these girls to pull the energy from situations that she has. I give an example with the whole Candy thing and the whole Toya thing about them possibly kissing, to Marlo being mad at her about not caring about how she felt about her nephew getting murdered, to her husband still gaslighting her and her trying to maybe work it out, and her still going to therapy for herself, her trying to push and start her music career, to her going back into this acting with Candy and still bumping heads with Sheree. I just felt like every story or every episode, except for I think the first episode, because she wasn't on the first episode, and that's because she was with her father, who recently passed away. Rest in peace to him.
I heard she was to negotiate her contract.
Anywho, every episode, it was something that involved Drew. Now, whether you want to say she lied about this and she lied about that, we all lie. We all tell lies. We might not want to go to work one day, and we may say we sick. We call out sick. We might have had a hangover for the night before. We called out sick. We was lying. My point is, so let's not sit here and act like her lying for whatever part is taken away from the fact that she carried this fucking season on her back, because she did. If you go back and think about everything that's happened, Drew was involved in all of it. And it wasn't because she was putting herself in it. It's because it had something to do with her. When she had to think of her house, Ray wanted to start the whole, girl, did you pay the chef? Is the chef being paid? Like, everything was about Drew this season. And it's a prime example of the reunion that has not came yet, but we saw the seating chart and who's sitting in first seat. Drew Sidor.
But we always know that the first chair don't always got anything to do with it or whatever. You can twirl around all you want to, little girl. Twirl all the way around.
Give that girl her props.
You have made a case. Drew didn't start out as one of my favorite housewives. She really didn't. But one thing she has done, whether it's fake or not, because I look at some of her storylines like, girl, is this even real? But she has consistently definitely delivered some type of story. One of the things that Carlos King says, and shout out to Carlos King, reality TV mega producer, is that one of the things that made the Housewives of Atlanta stand out for so many years is that they shared personal story. And Drew has definitely shared a lot of personal story, whether it's these $1,000 lawsuits, child, whether it's, you know, her husband going to Tampa and not telling her where he at, who he been with, what he was doing, and what he was doing it with, the thing with her sister, this assistant foolishness that she had going on. So she really has given us a lot. My problem though, Trey, is if you giving us something that's really authentic, Drew can be so fake and so dramatic at times. Like sometimes I don't know if I'm really watching the real Drew or I'm just watching this character that she's personifying or that she's putting out there to the world. For example, this thing with her and Ralph, obviously there's something going on, but I still feel like we don't know what the hell is going on with him. Like something's off. And the fact that he walked in that room and he acknowledged every last one of those women except his wife is very telling to me. Like everything seems forced, everything sometimes seems so fake with them. So that's my only gripe with Drew. Like, girl, is you giving us the real deal? Is this reality or is this realness with a twist, honey?
I feel like it is real when it comes to whatever they're going through, but I feel like throughout the season, it was a decline of their relationship. I feel like they've lost the friend bond of the relationship, and it's kind of like just still trying to fix. Like, for example, when they were on the episode when they were out to eat and she started crying and she left out of the restaurant, felt like she was taking it out on the girls, what she was actually going through with Ralph, and she didn't know how to express it. And I've been there. So, you know what I'm saying? I felt like she was basically just putting it on Sheree, and it wasn't really Sheree's issue. It was really what she was going through with Ralph. She takes out what Ralph was doing to her on other people. So I felt like that was a point where we actually got to see her actually be emotional and vulnerable about what was going on.
Yeah, but even in the emotions and the vulnerability, it just seems fake. Like oh my God. Drew, is it real? I mean, is it really real? Now, something else that I saw that just didn't seem real was this whole mess with Sheree and Martell when it comes to paying for the bill at the birthday dinner. So allegedly, Martell, which is Sheree's boyfriend, he also stars on Carlos King show Love and Marriage, Huntsville.
He's married.
He is pending a divorce, correct? But what we saw was, well, you tried it. Allegedly, Martell DM'd or sent a text message to both Sanya and Marlo, like, hey, could y'all gonna put it on this bill? It's unclear if they split it 3 ways or he was just asking them to pay for their portion of the bill. I don't know, but it started a whole controversy. So Sanya told Kenya told Candy and Shamia, and then it got back to Sheree, and Sheree confronted them on the after show. If you haven't seen the confrontation, head over to the Wineham's page. The video is there, honey. And Sheree, in true Sheree fashion, kind of checked both Marlo and Sanya, but Sanya was like, well, hold up. I thought that he would have paid the bill. But like she told Marlo, once I thought about the newness of the relationship and the fact that, you know, they ain't husband and wife, okay, I can kind of see where they're coming from. But Sheree wasn't having hun. She took the gloves off and she came straight at Sanya Trey. What did you think about all of this? Do you think it was premature for Sanya to assume that? Or was she justified in assuming that whether you married or not, if this your boo, he's having a dinner, he should pay for everybody?
No. So this is my whole thing. When it comes to birthdays, going away parties, person.
What was that little look for?
I'm just saying, you know, in events, you know, like that. I don't think the person who's being celebrated should pay for anything. Say, for example, if I'm in a relationship, I'm dating someone, and he reaches out to y'all and say, hey, y'all, I'm having this event for Trey. I'm going to try to come out to the dinner, blah, blah, blah. That does not mean he's paying for everybody. That means that he wants y'all to bring y'all ass and celebrate this person that y'all call y'all friend, and y'all pay for y'all own self, and I pay for it, and he'll pay for me.
But see, that's why those expectations need to be set prior to you inviting people, or when you invite people to something. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Trey. Now, I do believe.
No, let me stop you. Real quick. So let's say, for example, if you're not in a relationship, I'm not in a relationship, and then we're having something for you, and I reach out to everybody else, and I say, hey, y'all, let's take Maurice out to eat his birthday, or he got a new job, let's go celebrate him. Then we all know that we're going to split together for you. But if you're in a relationship and your man tell us, hey, let's take Maurice out, your man is paying for you. I'm taking care of myself, and everybody else is taking care of themselves. It's different when it's friends and when it's a relationship. So if for your relationship or you're dating someone, that person is obligated, not obligated, but that person is the person who should be paying paying for you, not paying for everyone else that he's telling them to come.
I have been out with different groups of people who don't have the same melanin in the skin as I do. And usually when the person extends an invitation to everyone to come join them for a dinner, they pay for everybody.
So when you say melanin,
I've seen that time and time again. And I would be honest with you, when I get to a point where I can do that, I do plan on doing that. When I invite people out to dinner for my birthday, I want to be able to say, it's on me, y'all come celebrate me. I ain't there yet.
That's the difference though. But that's the difference. That's the difference. You said if you invite your friends out, Sheree didn't invite, Martell reached out and invited them. So maybe if Sheree, even though we know Sheree has events and she pays everything.
Right? She don't. You don't know that she be paying everybody.
I mean, that's what she claims.
She up never try to talk about Drew, but honey, it's been some things about you out there. You don't like to pay people either, girl.
Hello.
So I'm just saying, I think Sanya is used to, because like she told them, you know, it's nothing for Ross to get up and pay for everybody. Right. Todd has gotten up and paid for them. So I don't think it's unusual for that to happen.
I don't think she was wrong for thinking
that. No, ain't nobody paying for y'all, and your husband shouldn't want nobody to pay for him. It ain't even about that. I think sometimes when you're with groups of friends, it's not unusual for a person to pick up the check. I know for us, when we go out on vacation or whatever, we all take turns. Okay, we all going to breakfast. You pick up the breakfast tab. I get the lunch tab. You get the dinner tab. That's how we do, and everybody.
When y'all do that? Huh? When y'all do that? When y'all started doing that?
We've been doing that for a while now. Or whatever. I think we've been doing that for a while now. I think it's more sometimes when it's just the sisters. I think it's when it's just the sisters. We've never done that with you, Trey?
No, I don't think I've ever even celebrated my birthday. But yeah, carry on.
Once again, see, when you date Trey, this is the type of stuff that you're going to have to deal with. The sensitivity, him being upset because somebody celebrating him.
Who's upset? Baby, I'm not upset.
He put out drills like he want to drill a hole in my fucking head and shit like that, child. Because ain't nobody celebrate his birthday. They have celebrated your birthday before.
When, Maurice? I ain't never, when? Yeah, you better sip your drink because, baby, there's one thing y'all ever did. I think even if you want to go there to bring it up, we were supposed to have the family field day the weekend of my birthday, and we was taking in money. I said, well, I should have to pay for that, contribute because it's my birthday. And I think I was still told I needed to contribute something.
Well, you also told us that you wasn't sure if you were coming to the field day because you was going to be possibly booked and busy going to LA or some shit like that.
No, I told you, no. I said if I do come,
you don't even know what we were planning on doing for you in the event that you did.
It ain't even happened.
Yeah, it did happen. I got to reschedule it because everybody's so damn busy or whatever.
Still waiting on that.
The girls. But you guys comment below and tell us what you think. Was Sanya wrong for assuming that Martell should have paid for everything? I just think it was a gentleman thing to do, especially if you're inviting your girlfriend's girls to come or whatever, to come and hang out with, for her birthday. I just think it just would have looked good for him to just pick up the tab for everybody. Now, Sheree, I didn't like this. I didn't like the fact that she tried to call out them for not bringing her a quote-unquote gift. If
I hated that.
That you're going to bring a gift to somebody else, that's on you, okay? A lot of times people have these dinners and they have these trips and they have all of these extravaganzas for their birthdays and they be expecting people to be bringing them gifts. But baby, if I have to pay $1,000 plane ticket and I got to pay for a hotel and all of
baby,
that,
I'm your gift.
Your wedding, to come to your birthday party, baby, that's your gift, my presents, okay? That's your motherfucking gift. I'm not gonna pump out another $200 or $300 because these days people don't want no gifts that's cheap. They want these labels and all kind of stuff like that. If I gotta pull up, I'm not gonna give you no gift unless you're one of my good Judies. If you're one of my good Judies and I feel like giving you a gift, I'm gonna do that. But if I gotta pay for plane tickets, extravagant meals, and room and board and hotels, girl, you is not getting nothing from me. So you might as well go ahead and cancel that. How you feel about that?
I absolutely agree. I hate it when she mentioned it. Sanya was like, I found out the day before about the dinner. Like, so what do you mean? Like, yeah, Sheree, it was very immature. Like Sanya said, you're not like a child, like a kid's party. Like, you know what I'm saying, where I gotta bring a gift. Like, grow up. You almost 70. Like, girl, if I bring no gift, I ain't no gift.
Now, if it's just, we just local or something like that, yeah, I'll bring you a little token, a little gift or whatever the case may be. Now, when you're having an event or you're having a party party or something like that, I do not like coming empty-handed. But no one is obligated. That's just a personal preference of mine. And you know, they ain't going nowhere cheap. They probably went somewhere expensive where drinks and your meal is probably gonna be $150, almost $200. No, don't put that kind of pressure on people. Don't do that. The fact that people showed up, they took time out of their schedule, what they were doing to be there. Let them be there to celebrate you and you not feel some type of way about not getting anything. Moving along. Now, something else Trey wanted to get off his chest is something about Andy Cohen. Now, Andy did an interview recently on I think the Hello Isaac podcast with fashion designer Isaac Mizrahi. Andy basically told us that he's a top, honey, or whatever. Not only is he a top, if he was given a choice to be heterosexual or homosexual, he basically would have chosen to be heterosexual because it's easy. Now, if you guys don't know who Andy Cohen is the godfather of the Housewives franchise from Bravo. And if you haven't seen the video, head over to the Winans page and you'll be able to see the video. Trey, this bothered you for some strange reason. Tell us why this bothered you, honey.
Well, for those who may not know what a top is, I'm going to go ahead and explain that. That's not what annoyed me. A top is basically, that's not what annoyed me because, you know, I can see that for him. In the homosexual relationship, a top is someone who portrays the I guess you would say, the norm of a man in a relationship, right? Where a bottom would be considered the norm of a female in a relationship. So that's top bottom, right?
The top serves the dick and the bottom receives the dick, okay? A top don't get fucked in the ass, a bottom gets done in the booty, okay?
Well, you know, nowadays, tops do get fucked in the ass, you know.
If you're not a top, then you're versatile. You are versatile or a versatile top. But if your primary position is that you are serving the dick, like it's your rod and your staff and you serving it. Like you just serving it and you just plunge it. If you giving the dick, that's what a top is. If your booty hole is brown or pink in some instances, if it's brown or pink and you are inserting the penis is being inserted into your brown booty hole, then you are what we call bottom. BOTTOM. You are on the bottom of things, okay? Trey is on the bottom of things.
There you go.
He's one of those fake tops. Trey is a soft top. That would be the best thing to describe you. Although I think you need to tap into your inner bottom just a little bit more. But, carry on. What were you about to say?
Luckily this show is not to, characterize what position Trey or Maurice is. We all know what Maurice is, but
yeah, we do. We do.
Okay.
Hello, 1-800-DATA-HOLE. Press 1 for Maurice.
Oh my God.
I'm on the things. Yeah, if anyone wants to know.
Yeah, you know.
Although, lately, get that gay shit out of here. Get that gay shit out of here. Although lately, I've been kind of wanting to step into some new things. I've been encouraged to, wander into unknown territory here and there or whatever.
You better stay out of Lake Wiley.
And you say what?
You better stay out of Lake Wiley. Don't you wander over there.
So, if you want to be my first victim, just slide in them DMs, honey.
It goes down in the DMs. So Andy stated that if he could, when he was a teenager, if he could have selected to be a heterosexual, he would have been a heterosexual because he felt like it's easier. Some people would agree with that, and some people won't agree with that. I'm one of the ones who don't agree with that. I really think that it was kind of offensive to the homosexual community to say that you would choose to be heterosexual because you think that their lives are easy. First of all, I feel like him as a white man has had it easy for a long time. Easier than some black gay men, easier than black straight men. So I think when you say that you want to be a heterosexual and why it's offensive is because for me, for so long, I've tried to prove to people that I didn't choose to be this way. This is how God created me. And if you put in this atmosphere where you're saying, well, if I could have chose, you're going back to where we tried to prove for so long that we were born this way. You're saying if you could have choose, you would have been something else. I just think that it was a cop-out towards gay men, gay women, those of the LGBTQ community. I just thought it was a fucking stupid ass comment to say.
We have to understand that Andy comes from a different school of thought when it comes to gay. Like, he was around in periods where we weren't around. And even for you and I, the gays who've come behind us, well, excuse me, the gays who've come behind you, I think a lot of times
No, you said it right. You said it right. But came behind us. Said it right.
They're a lot more liberated. Like, even when you think about civil rights and stuff like that, you know, the people, our parents who lived during the Dr. Martin Luther King era, we lived a more free life than what they did. And even the kids coming out behind us are even living a more free life. So I think it really has to do with the period that you grew up gay. In all honesty, it would technically be easier, Trey, if we were just heterosexual. I think a lot of times people think we really choose to be this way, but as far back as I remember, it don't have anything to do with being sexually assaulted or abused or anything like that. I've always had an attraction to men. I think a lot of times I tried to force myself to like women because that's what was said that I was supposed to like. That's what my uncles, you know, were pushing friends around. He was like, you know, you ain't trying to, you know, get with a girl. You ain't trying to fuck no pussy. You know, you ain't doing this. You ain't got no girlfriend. But that didn't come natural to me. What came natural to me was the attraction for a man. So I just think Andy grew up in a different time where it would have been easier for him to just be straight. Who chooses to be persecuted? Who chooses to be ostracized? Who chooses to be made fun of all of the time because you are different or you like something different? I think people don't realize that if you really could shake this thing, like, you probably would shake it.
I don't agree.
But do you understand that, though?
I can understand your point. However, I still feel like his statement was very vague. His statement was an explanation to what he thought, as he's a gay man with a child. You know, it's like for me, I'm thinking like, well, are you raising your child to only want your child to think we have to be straight? For example, I've had conversations with my father about me adopting a child in 2024, right? And this whole thing was just him worried or wondering if I am going to make sure I allow the child to learn God, learn the way of a heterosexual. And I'm like, that, come on now, you know. So my thing is for Andy to think that way. I'm thinking, is he making his child or keeping his child to a point where he thinks he's heterosexual because it's going to be easier? You know what I'm saying?
I think if I was raising a child, I don't think I would, oh gosh, how can I say this? I wouldn't try to force my lifestyle on my child. I would
Absolutely not.
Like, if I was in a relationship and I had a kid, I don't know if I would, God, I don't know, this is kind of deep. I don't know if I would show affection with my man around my child.
Does that mean that you are forcing your child to think that only men and women should be together? Your child should be able to see you in the light of you loving who you love. And your child should be able to determine who they want to be with. And that's my thing where I'm thinking, is Andy raising this child to be like, you should be with, what does he have, a daughter or a son?
He has a daughter and a son.
So is he raising his children to think that they should be with the opposite sex? Or is he allowing them to see him in love with who he's in love with? Like, that's my thing. For example, my son know he got two mamas. And he know he got a daddy. But that doesn't mean we're saying, hey, you need to be with the same sex. Live your life and grow up who you're going to love. And that's what made me kind of bothered by it, because I felt like I was thinking, well, what is he teaching his kids? It's not my personal business, but I'm thinking, what is he teaching his kids? And he's making his kids think you're straight, because that's easier. So you date the opposite sex because it's easier, rather than allowing them to say, well, maybe I want to be gay. Maybe I want to be like you, Dad. Maybe I want to love the same sex.
You know what? I think this would be a good show. Like, we need to maybe invite some gay, gender loving parents onto the show to kind of talk about how do they approach that situation. Like, do you show affection, public display of affection in front of your child because of the fact that you know you're gay? And this could be my mentality because I grew up in a different time. Like, you know, for such a long time, these are things that we hid. We hid our sexuality. We didn't share it with everyone because we didn't want to be judged or we want to be made fun of or whatever. As an adult, you know, I'm different, but sometimes I'm thinking like, okay, even though I'm older, I'm a lot more freer now. My experiences are going to possibly shape how I raise a child if I do decide to have a child. And if I do raise a child alone or if I raise a child with a partner, what does that look like? This is a good conversation. We need to talk about this a little bit more. Bring some people on who are parents and see how they approach this situation, because you know what the straight people are going to say. Oh, what about our children? You shouldn't be exposing your kids to this or whatever. But as we say, love is love. So
love is love.
All right, the last thing on our agenda tonight is we're going to talk about Carlos King and his part 2 2 of the interview with NeNe Leakes and part 1 of his interview with the goddess, America's beauty queen, Mrs. Kenya Moore. So something that stood out for me during NeNe's part 2 of her interview with Carlos King was the comparison that she made to herself when it comes to Kim Kardashian. NeNe felt like she should be on the same level, if not bigger, as Kim Kardashian because they came out around the same time. They were on their reality shows at the same time, had some of the same deals, but it looked like, with the exception of the sex tape, Hollywood favored Kim Kardashian more than they favored NeNe Leakes. Now, people thought NeNe was delusional. They laughed at NeNe or whatever. It's like, girl, get real, child. You are not Kim Kardashian. But Tamar Braxton and Jessie Woo from Dish Nation disagreed. They supported NeNe. It was like, yes, NeNe should be on the same level, if not bigger than Kim Kardashian. What do you think about all of this, Trey? Was NeNe being delusional thinking that she should be on the same level as Kim Kardashian, or was there some validity to what she was saying?
So this is my thing. I feel like to make something big or to make something successful, sometimes it takes a village, right? If not sometimes, most of the time, right? When we look at NeNe and we look at Kim Kardashian, to me it's different. Kim wasn't alone. Kim had her sisters. She had her mom. She had more of a story to build with her sisters. And NeNe was just alone. If she was to have a show like the Kardashians, it wouldn't have been as big because she didn't really have much to really give us like the Kardashians did. Even though I can't stand the Kardashians without an inch of piece of blood in my body. Like,
how you can't stand the Kardashians though?
I think they're overrated. I think that their storylines are fake. Like it's just to continue on. It's to continue on and continue on. It's made up shit.
Well,
now,
it must be working, honey, because look at what they built.
Yeah, it is working. But to give you an example, and I don't want to jump off of NeNe, the Braxtons. I think that the Braxton show, they have been big like the Kardashians. And I felt like they were not pushed like the Kardashians was. They were not given opportunities like Kardashians was. But just like NeNe stated, or just like Tamar stated, that there was stuff that the Kardashians could talk about on their show when it came to their other businesses that the Braxtons were not able to.
And I didn't know this, that if they talked about or pushed certain businesses, they would have had to pay WeTV a fee for that because it was basically like it was advertisement. That's insane to me. Now, again, I don't know all of the inner workings of contracts and stuff like that, but I mean, to me, it seems like a whole give and take. Now, what I did learn about Bravo is that in some of Bravo's earlier contracts, they received a cutback on a lot of the stuff that some of those housewives did, which I thought was kind of like, oh, wow.
I think that NeNe could have been bigger than where she is now. Do I believe that she would be with Kim Kardashian? I do not.
But why don't you think she could have been as big as them? Because ultimately, like they said, they were on the same family of networks or whatever.
Because
NBC Universal owned both Bravo and E! Why was one being pushed more than the other when a lot of times they were rolling together? You saw them out together a lot. What was different about Kim versus NeNe that she wasn't pushed?
Chloe, what's the mother sister's name?
Courtney and Kylie.
And think about it.
If you family that has something
it's the family because they dated him. She was married to Kanye West. The other sister was with Lamar. Like it was other stuff that brought dynamics to the Kardashian franchise and the Kardashian show that NeNe was only on Housewives of Atlanta.
No, but NeNe was on Glee. She was on The New Normal.
What happened with Glee?
She was helping to host
the Glee got canceled.
Fashion review during the award season with Joan Rivers. Like NeNe, she had a Shoe Dazzle deal just like Kim Kardashian had a Shoe Dazzle deal. What is the difference, Trey?
Maurice, I hate to say this, and please, don't cancel me out, black people. I feel like NeNe got those opportunities because she was bold and loud and vivacious. Like be on the thing you was talking about hosting with the fashion. NeNe don't really have fashion like that, okay? Like Kim does, like the Kardashians does. So when you think about,
honey, you are a lie because NeNe get her stuff straight off the runway, honey. When you got the coins, girl, you can get the clothes off the runway. What is you talking about, Trey?
Please hold. 1 second.
I'm trying to figure out what you talking about, girl.
I'm about to tell you.
Because when you got the coins,
1.5 billion, 14 million. So yeah, there's a difference there. When you say off the runway, Kim Kardashian gets it off the runway. Her fucking network is 1.5 billion. So
regardless of what she can afford it or not, most of that stuff be free any damn way. When they send it to
those stars, if you look at some stuff that Kim Kardashian wears, would you say, "Ooh, that look good on NeNe"? No.
Well, no. I think NeNe, when NeNe wears certain dresses, though, she wears them very, very well. Now, right in the early days, NeNe wasn't doing but wearing curtains and sheets, child. That's all she used to wear. I think it goes to what NeNe said. You know, sometimes white people are white passing people, because even though the Kardashians are, not necessarily white, they can be white passing. I think a lot of times more doors and opportunities get open and extended that wouldn't be done for Black people. And so therefore people like NeNe or Tamar have to work extra hard. When you talk about systematic racism, yes, there's systematic racism in Hollywood as well too. We have to work harder, be bolder, be more outrageous sometimes to, get what we get versus people who are just giving absolutely nothing, get doors open to them. That's what NeNe was saying when it came to the other housewives. What did I do so wrong that made me quote unquote difficult to work with? You have other women, white women or white passing women on other shows who did less than what I was doing that, got more opportunities, or if they did become physical or whatever, it wasn't looked at the same as if when a Black housewife becomes physical or have an argument or quote unquote difficult to work with. So I do think there's some validity to what NeNe was saying in that case. I just want NeNe to be able to work again. And it looked like it's starting to happen slowly but surely. I do feel what's happening to her just because she wants to share some of her experiences, even though she went about it the wrong way sometimes. She could have went about it a better way. I ain't gonna say it's the wrong way. Being that you're in Hollywood and you gotta learn how to play the game sometimes.
Yeah, I do want her to get back to work and get some more opportunities, because I think that she is really she is good to watch. She's good TV.
So what did you think about Kenya's interview with Carlos King? See, this is the interview that makes me love Kenya even more than what I already do. I've always been Team Twirl. Now, sometimes Kenya's right, and when she's right, I'm right with her. When Kenya's wrong, I'm going to say that she's wrong.
No, you still with her.
I love this interview because I think for me, we got to see more of a human side of Kenya. And you're one who was very critical of Kenya in the past, but after these last 2 seasons, you've kind of liked her a little bit. So tell me, what did you think about the interview? What were some of the most revealing things that you learned from him?
So before we go over to the Kenya, I just want to bring up one last thing about NeNe. I don't like how she played these girls when Carlos was asking her about who's a star and who's not a star. Like, NeNe, that was so... She made it seem like Kenya's not a star. It's like, maybe, kind of, blah, blah, blah. Portia, she has her, possibility.
She has potential.
Portia is a star. Portia is a fan favorite. People want Portia back on the show.
She has potential, Trey.
Portia's a star, and so is Kenya. And then you try to act like Candy ain't. Baby, Candy's been a star since the 90s. Okay.
Is Candy really a star, though?
She's been a star since the 90s.
But does she have that does she have...
She can give you what you need, because if a bitch needs to get loud, she can clap back too.
I love Candy. I've always felt that people have been too hard on Candy these last couple of seasons anyway. But, Candy ain't no NeNe. But Candy has her own lane. The thing about Candy is bigger than Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta has helped amplify.
Yeah, I think that the interview with Kenya was really great. She got to be very vulnerable. I think we learned a lot about stuff she had going on with her mom, and it really kind of showed the reason why she is the way she is about stuff. And what I really enjoy seeing her do is talk about her daughter. I just love Kenya with her daughter. It's just so refreshing to see the scenes with her daughter. She could not be married and not be a housewife for the rest of her time on this show, but just to see her with her daughter, I think that people got to see Kenya in another light, and I wish she would unblock me.
Oh, you want Kenya to unblock you? I'm gonna reach out to Kenya and see if I can get her to unblock you. Because she's a friend of my head, so maybe in my head I can channel and she'll be like, unblock. The whole part where she shared about her mom and how her mom told her, I'm gonna destroy you, and the level of vulnerability that she shared about that. We've seen the story, we've heard the story before, but I think it was in a different way this time that we've never seen before. So I appreciate Kenya being vulnerable in that aspect and sharing that. Like she said, for the most part, most girls, their first best friend is their mother. And so for your mom to not like you and say that she's going to destroy you, and not only say that she's going to destroy you, but she put forth acts to actually destroy you, I know that has to be devastating. But what I did thought was interesting, how, I don't know about you, but the way Kenya was talking during this interview, it felt like this might be her last season with the Housewives of Atlanta. Because I kind of felt like she kind of validated some of NeNe's claims when she started talking about colorism and how it does exist, how Candy and NeNe them went on strike, which To me, that was the first time I heard that when it came to Kim and how there's unfair or preferential treatment when it comes to white women. They didn't want to say white women when it comes to people of different colors when it comes to the housewives world. And I also feel that's why Portia too kind of agrees. NeNe said that she had text messages. There's text messages in the group where they've talked about those things. So I do kind of feel that those ladies, there is some truth to what NeNe was saying. And Kenya kind of alluded to some of that when she's had the whole colorist conversation on the show as well too. Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of The Wine Up. Again, make sure that you share, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And we will see you next time. So remember, you are good enough to achieve any and everything you put your mind to.
That's right.
Love you. Bye.